Rovers fan channel and the future AFTV of League One, and welcome to another transfer report. Now we've got a couple of stories to talk about in this video today. And basically we're going to be talking about this whole transfer story on Jordan Davies. I've got a little bit of information at the end of that article about Ed Williams. We've also got some stuff to talk about Taylor and James and why they missed the Derby match. And we're going to just speak all about them really. So before we get started, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, click the notification bell so you never miss a YouTube video. And let's get into this video. So the first of our two stories is an interesting one. It's about Wrexham's new signing, Jordan Davies. So one of our trialists was Jordan Davies, and he did not wait for a formal offer from a contract from Doncaster Rovers before deciding upon his future, the Free Press understands. Now, Darren Moore had been seriously considering handing the former Brighton and Hove Albion midfielder the deal after the 22-year-old impressed during his time with training with the Rovers squad. Now, Moore met with Rovers chairman David Blunt and chief executive Gavin Baldwin on Tuesday to discuss the latest stages of his recruitment drive and assess what he could possibly offer Davies. But in the meantime, the Welsh midfielder opted to return to his former club Wrexham, where he signed a brand new 2-year deal. Now, of course, with Jordan Davies, with this Brighton Hove Albion winger, because he can play predominantly on the left wing, or the left midfield, shall we say, Davies had spent almost a fortnight with Rovers as he looked to earn a deal following his release by Brighton earlier in the summer. Now, he featured in the friendlies against Scunthorpe, Bradford and Derby, and both he and fellow trialist Ed Williams had impressed sufficiently to be kept as part of Rovers' training group, while the likes of Nathan Thomas and Watu Kouate were let go. Davies graduated from the Academy of Wrexham and moved to Brighton in 2017 before making his senior debut. He did not make a senior appearance for the Seagulls but featured regularly for the club's under-23 side before his release. Now, a little bit about Ed Williams. He discussed the future Darren Moore of the former Kidderminster Harriers midfielder yesterday in yesterday's meeting, and will come to his final decision over whether to offer the 25-year-old a contract in the coming days. So there we go, that is the information from this article then. So before we get started with our last story, we need to sort of discuss my thoughts on this. Now, I can see where people are coming from online. On the one hand, it is a bit embarrassing that a club like Wrexham, who, no disrespect, they're a non-league club, 2 divisions below us, are, you know, snapping him up before us, you know. And to be fair, you know, we have been guilty of that. We've been guilty of not going in first, and you know, if he did impress, then they should have sped up the talks quicker. But on the other hand, you've got to look at it as maybe he wasn't one of our top targets. Maybe he wasn't the top person that we were looking at. So it was probably better in the long term for him to go back to Wrexham. And maybe he wants to go back to Wrexham. Maybe that was his destination, even if we offered him a good contract anyway. Even if we brought him into the squad, he might have wanted to go to Wrexham, so we might have probably loaned him out to Wrexham for the season or something. I don't think Jordan Davies would be a good fit for our squad, just because we've got people in them positions. We've got Taylor, we've got Lakilo, we've got the under-18s as well. We've also got I'm sure we've got some wingers that we're looking at anyway as well. So, you know, we've got people in those positions that we can fill in. So, you know, winger's not exactly the most priority position right now, especially since we've got Lakilo. And, you know, even though Jordan Davies would have been a good fit, I think it's probably better if he was at Wrexham, to his boyhood club. So, you know, he can go and enjoy himself at Wrexham, and I just don't think Jordan Davies would have been a good fit for Rovers. So, I'm kind of happy this one didn't go through. And, you know, it is a bit embarrassing, though, that, you know, we're waiting on the other club snapped him up, and there were 2 divisions below us before we snapped him up. But again, you've got to look at the other side of that. He's not a top target from the looks of it, and, you know, I think it would have been probably inevitable anyway. I think he must have wanted to go to Wrexham anyway. So, training with us was just fitness for Jordan Davies, in my opinion. And I think that, you know, him and Nathan Thomas wouldn't have been good fits, in my opinion. I don't think they're good enough for the squad. So I think and you know, going to boyhood club Wrexham, maybe that's better for him. Maybe it just had to be that way. But I think, look, I think he was the, well, I don't know for sure, but I think he might have been one of the wingers. Well, he's definitely one of the wingers on trial. But I think the mid-20s winger with the AFL experience that was on trial with us originally was Nathan Thomas, the ex-Sheffield United man. So he wasn't one of our top targets that stayed on from the original trialist crop and flourished like Ed Williams did. So, you know, like Nathan Thomas, I just don't think, well, compared to Nathan Thomas, I don't think that Jordan Davies wasn't the best, in my opinion. So, yeah, you know, it's good for him. He can go back to his boyhood club. He can perform to the best of his ability in the Vanarama National League, and you know, we can just move on. You know, focus on signing our other two loan, well, our other one loanee, should we say now? Because of course we brought in Taylor Richards along with Joseph Bursick. So that's Stoke and Brighton giving the go ahead. So we've got one more loanee on the way, with the club waiting for the go ahead. And yeah, obviously Ed Williams potentially coming in the next few days, as well as the new crop of trialists. We'll see if we sign them up as well. So there's still a lot of positives. I think it's just 1 down, 6 potentially to go in terms of transfers. So that is the story about Jordan Davies. Like I said, 2 divisions below. On the one hand, a non-league club snapping him up before we could offer him a contract because we took too much time. It can be seen as embarrassing on the transfer market, but on the other hand of that, you've got to look at the other side and think, he wasn't one of our top targets. He might have wanted to go to Wrexham anyway, and I think he would have been unsettled if we signed him up, even though he wanted to go back to Wrexham. So you've got to look at it both ways, weigh up the decision, and I think it's probably better if he just goes to Wrexham and we move on from this saga. On more positive news, though, just to add to the players that I just said with the loanees, Bursick, etc. Bursick has made the England under-21 squad, so well done, Bursick. He did well in the Derby game. And, yeah, good luck with England under-21s. So let's move on to our final story now, and that's discussing the injuries to John Taylor and Reece James. Now, Darren Moore has insisted that he will not rush Reece James back into action for Doncaster Rovers as he looks to shake off a niggling injury. James has missed Rovers' last 2 pre-season friendlies and has been training away from the rest of the squad. With a busy and demanding season to come, Moore does not want to risk more serious damage to the left-back by bringing him back into the fold too soon. Now, Moore told the Free Press that Reece has got this persistent problem at the top of his leg. In pre-season, where the ground is harder, it's difficult to shake these things off. With Reece, because the season is coming up and how busy it will be, I won't take any risks with him. He'll only come back again if he's absolutely tip-top. Once the 26-year-old is declared fit, Moore expects he will quickly be available for action. He said he's one of the fitter ones in the squad. He'll be maintaining his levels while he was off and he's come back in excellent shape. In terms of how he is, it's in a good place. He'll be able to go full tilt, so we don't want to do anything to hinder that. John Taylor also missed Saturday's fixture with Derby, but Moore says his absence was merely a precautionary measure. John wasn't involved because on Friday he was a little sore. He rolled his ankle without doing anything too dangerous, so I took him out of the game. He trained on Monday, so he is okay. So looking then at these injuries, just a little bit of detail then. Obviously John Taylor, a little bit of an ankle problem, but of course, like he said, back on Monday, back in full training, so we expect him to be ready for the Blackburn game in a couple of days. And with Reece James, it looks like he might miss the Blackburn game maybe, or he might be on the bench for the Blackburn game. And I would like to see Danny Amos play that if Reece James isn't going to be involved at all in the Blackburn match in the AFL Cup first round. I think it's very, very likely that Reece James will probably get benched or not involved at all, and Danny Amos will get used. And obviously it's the first competitive match where we get to see all our new signings. Jason Lakilo, Joseph Bursick, the new guy, Taylor Richards from Brighton. And yeah, if we can get Ed Williams over the line before the 29th of August, that would be, you know, more strength in depth. It'd be even better. And I've had Kidderminster fans and fans of this guy, you know, message me left, right and centre on the channel, on Messenger, on Instagram, on any kind of platform. Message me left, right and centre, sending me loads of information about this guy. And it just gets me even more excited about Ed Williams. So hopefully we can get him into the squad as well. And then we've got a good attacking midfield to versatile from Coppinger, the legend, Taylor Richards, the loanee, and Ed Williams, the non-league. And all 3 of them are equally as good. Yeah, all 3 of them are going to be equally as good. So I'll probably do a preview video the day before the Blackburn game. I'll probably do like a preview video, you know, revealing my predicted squad, you know, predicting how people might do, and obviously when it comes to the game day, I'll be able to do a match review. There's no more goals analysis. There's this whole thing with the EFL now with Sky, and, you know, I think uploading, like, even little clips in between with screenshots would be, you know, deemed, you know, unworthy, shall we say. So, you know, I don't think the goals analysis will be happening this season until, you know, EFL gets back to non-Sky, which won't be the case. But again, we'll see what happens. But I think it's just going to be match analysis from now on. But I'll be able to watch the game, so it's all good. So there we go, guys. Now, of course, there were some other little stories here and there. Obviously, there's rumours that, you know, we're not going to be travelling to Wimbledon's new stadium. That's expected to be completed by October 25th. We've got a game against Wimbledon away in the league, I believe, at the start of November. So, you know, the rumouring an October 25th completion date, but it's possible that they're going to be ground sharing with, well, it's confirmed actually they're going to be ground sharing with QPR until the new stadium is completed. So obviously we know Harrogate Town's ground sharing with us for their first 2 home games of the season before they get all their pitch ready to EFL League 2 standards. And, you know, obviously we're going to have to ground share with Harrogate for those first 2 home games of their season, which I think Bolton's one of them, so it's the only time Bolton's going to travel to the Keepmo, unless it's in the Cup. But for QPR, they're going to be ground sharing with Wimbledon until their new stadium is completed. So, bye-bye Kingsmeadow, hello Plough Lane. So it should be interesting to see if we are going to be playing at Loftus Road, or we're going to be playing at the brand new stadium on November 5th, sorry, if it's expected to be completed by October 25th. So for now, guys, thank you very, very much for watching this episode of the DRFC Transfer Report. I am the CHALL. Please like, comment, subscribe. And for now, guys, goodbye.